We're Britt and Mike, and this is our dog, Leah. We're converting our 2021 Ford Transit van into a home on wheels. Last week, we finished our mini-cell foam and plywood subfloor. In this week's video, we're starting to lay down the wiring we'll need to power our lights, outlets, and appliances. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, guys!
Welcome to Van Build Episode 9. So last week we finished up our subfloor, and this week we are starting on wiring.
Yeah, so I ordered a bunch of wire on Amazon, so I can't really do any of the wiring work today, but we can kind of dive into where we're going to put our outlets and our switches and stuff for our 12 volt and our 120.
Yeah, so. And our lights.
And our lights,
so we're going to start with that.
So let's do it.
So for reference, we are using a DIY camper van solar setup wiring diagram from explorist.life. We will link it below. And then we also have a little drawing here of our intended floor plan and sort of where we're going to put our outlets and our lights and things like that. So we'll walk through that. Alright, so we will start at the back of the van. The first thing is right here. We are going to want to have one of those tables on drawer slides that goes out the back of the garage. We've seen a few people have that set up, and it looks nice to have the ability to work outside or eat outside. So we will put a 120 volt outlet and a 12 volt outlet in the garage right there, just in case we want to work outside at all, plug anything in over there. We will also have 4 puck lights above the bed, and then we will have a 12 volt outlet on this side, which is going to be Mike's side. And then on my side, we'll have a 12 volt outlet and then also a 120 volt outlet, since I anticipate I might be working from bed sometimes on my laptop. And then a 12 volt outlet in the middle on the wall here, so that we can wire up a projector to hopefully project onto this side of the wall. Alright, so moving into the kitchen area, so we will have a 120 volt and a 12 volt outlet here, sort of right where the kitchen counter meets up with the bed, and just in case we want to plug in any appliances here, like blender, coffee maker, hair dryer, that sort of stuff. And then on the other side, we'll also probably put a 120 volt outlet, just in case, you know, it makes more sense to have the coffee made over here. We don't want to limit ourselves to one side of the counter or the other. And then we will also have puck lights, 3 under these cabinets, 2 in our entryway here, and then 4 running in a straight line back up here. Turning to the other side, we'll have our shower right about here. So we'll have a single light inside the shower, a waterproof waterproof light switch, and we'll have to run 12 volt to this side for our composting toilet. And then the bench seat, which is where I plan to do most of my work, like on my computer. So we'll have another 120 volt outlet here, and then also probably 2 12 volts, just because we also plan to use these chairs as seating. And so if Mike is also sitting here and wants to charge his phone or something like that, we'll have plenty of power right here in the bench. We'll also have 2 puck lights under the upper cabinets right here. So we'll have cabinets sort of starting at the bathroom back here, and then on this whole wall here. So we'll have puck lights under the cabinets. Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so I ordered marine grade 12 gauge wiring for all of our 12 volt stuff, and then I ordered a 12 by 3, so 12 gauge by 3 kind of Romex marine grade wiring for all of our 120 volt outlets and switches and everything like that. So that stuff will be here tomorrow. Hopefully I can get started tomorrow putting that stuff in and all that stuff, so then we can start framing. So should be fun.
Man, it is bright out here.
I know.
Hello, it is the next day. We got our Amazon packages in this morning and yesterday with all of our wiring and our zip ties and our distribution box and all of that. So we are starting running wiring today. On our first day wiring, we started measuring, cutting, and placing the wire for our 120 volt outlets. We really wanted our outlet placement to be functional so that we can use our space in whatever ways end up working best for us. To place the wiring, we first measured out a wire length that covered the distance from our distribution box to the first nearest outlet, plus a little extra to spare. Each subsequent outlet will be daisy-chained so that the wires we cut connect our outlets in a line to one another, rather than individually connecting back to the distribution box. We measured and cut each wire and ran them through the ribs in the side of our van walls as needed, making sure to cover any parts of the wire that contact the sharp edges of the back of the van ribs with wire loom. Finally, we labeled each end with tape so that we would remember which wire connected where, and curled them up inside the wall for now until we're ready to connect them.
All right, so we got the 120 volt wiring runs done for both sides of the van. We have one run for the driver's side, one for the passenger side, and then all of our outlets are going to be daisy chained together. So all the 120 volt is pretty much done. We'll have to wire a switch later on for the heated floors, but that's pretty much it.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right, and then tomorrow we are starting on 12 volt. We will have 12 volt outlets pretty much everywhere that we ran 120 volt, and we will also have a couple of extra 12 volt outlets. So we will get started on that tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll show you guys what we did today. Good afternoon. It is the next day and we are starting to run our 12 volt wiring.
Yeah, so today we're gonna run 12 volt for our refrigerator, for our max fan, our lights, our outlets, all the 12 volt stuff.
Yay.
So, let's do this.
Cool. So first up, we are running wire for the max air fan. So it is up here toward the front of our van. And we need to run wire all the way down to our distribution box, which will be down here under the bed. So Mike's working on putting it through the walls, basically.
Yeah, and then anywhere where there's chance that something could rub or pinch, I'm putting some of this wire loom on it and zip tying it down so that there's no rubbing. This stuff already is cased in this really resistant casing. It's UV, water, and gasoline resistant actually, so this stuff's really tough, but this is just a little bit added protection to that. So okay, so I'm trying to do a little better job filming today because so far I haven't, because it's kind of all a lot of the same stuff. But right now I'm running my 12 volt wires for our outlets on the passenger side of the van. We've got one that's going to be up here above the sink or the kitchen countertop, and I've got one wire coming up. It's already ran right here. It's going to go up and mount up here, and then they're going to be daisy chained. I have another one that goes up here, so they'll be connected to each other, and then it's going to go down around over here right where this other one is. That's our 120 volt outlet wiring right there that's going to come out the side. So we'll have an outlet on the outside, one up here. I've got 120 volt wires run for all these outlets over here already, and then I know I've already talked about it, but this stuff has been great. The wire loom that I picked up from Lowe's, this is 3/8 inch wire loom, which is perfect for the duplex wire, the 12 volt stuff. And then I had some 1/2 inch that I used for the triplex wire for the 120 volt. I actually ran out of that stuff and ended up kind of doubling this stuff up yesterday. It was pretty difficult, but it worked. So yeah, we're just getting to it and trying to knock out as much today as possible.
Show everybody your winter hair. Come on. Can you say, I'm due for a haircut? Oh, yes. Love you.
So today I've run wiring for the fridge, for our max air fan, for some of the lighting, and for the two 12 volt outlets that are going to be on the passenger side of the van. One's going to go to the exterior, kind of on the back side of the sink, and then the other one's going to be in the kitchen area. Right now I'm running the 12 volt to the bathroom, so I'll finish that up today.
And the last one that we're going to start running today is the 12-volt over bed lighting. So we will have 4 puck lights in basically a square over the bed. So that one needs to run from the distribution box up into basically the side of the van and up into the roof here. So it'll go from here. It'll kind of follow the same path as our shower light up here, and then it will stop about mid-roof right here. Our last task of the day is trying to get the wire to go up inside the beam in this corner, which I did with insulation not too long ago, and it was not my favorite task. And the wire curls up inside the beam, so it's kind of a struggle to get it to go upwards.
Yeah, the problem is we're at the end of the spool.
Yeah.
And the wire is just a corkscrew. So this is our problem. Once you start to feed it up, the wire starts to curl, which is fine because it gets kind of on the back inside of the beam here. And then, but at some point, if it wanders to the back corner here, it's just starting to curl up. And then you can't get it to go all the way up to this hole. If I could at least get it to this hole, we could pull it through there and then feed it the rest of the way through. But
yeah,
assuming you just take it to the end and push it through, right?
Yep. Just pull it out. You just put your wire there, tape it,
Okay.
and then push it. And just try to, wherever you're gonna have it come out. There.
We're gonna try to get it to come out here first so we can pull it through, and then all we gotta do is get it through the rest of the way to the top here.
Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go.
Problem solved.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so you can see we got more than we need here, which is perfect.
That was the end of our spool too. All right, so my dad brought over this handy fish hook here, and we were able to fish the rest of the wire up through the beam here. We are pretty much finished with that for the night, so
She just saw Grandma.
we are going to go pick up some dinner and call it a night, and we will be back tomorrow.
What's up, guys? It's another day at the office and another day of wiring. So I'm not sure where we left off last night, but this is the mess we got ourselves into. And we're probably halfway done. So it's gonna be another day of pulling wire through all these posts. I actually already started one right here. I had to go buy another roll of wire today because 100 feet of this was not enough. So I got another 100 feet, and hopefully that's more than enough to finish out what we got to do. And a lot of the stuff that we have left is on the driver's side, so we'll be pulling wire all the way from here up through these posts and up around for a lot of that stuff. Hopefully you're not as tired of looking at all this wire as I am. All right, so I've been out here all day. We've got an even bigger rat's nest of wires now, going all the way through the van. And we are pretty much done. There's a few things I have to wrap up, but some stuff has to be later on in the build. Some stuff is going to require a little bit of research on my part. But yeah, this is basically it. Please ignore the squeaking sounds of my boots in that last clip. It's pretty bad.
Hi guys. guys, it is the weekend and we thought we would close out this vlog by talking a little bit about the specifics of how we plan to actually run the wiring.
Yeah, so we decided to do our 120 volt runs in 3 runs. One will be the passenger side, which will have an outlet located in the kitchen and one on the back side of the cabinet facing outside of the van. So that's our first run. Our second one is the driver's side of the van, which includes one in the garage and one by the bed and one by the bench seat. So that'll control all of the outlets on the driver's side. The first one will control all the outlets on the passenger side. And then the third is a standalone outlet, which will be located in the garage. And that one is there strictly for our heated floors. So
yeah, I didn't mention that one when we were giving the first little tour when we were inside the van, but we do plan to run heated floors under our vinyl. So our 12 volt outlet runs are similar to our 120 volt outlets. They are going to be daisy chained in small chains, which should be okay as long as we keep our fuse sizes appropriate for that. We'll have one in the kitchen and on the back side of the counter facing outside of the van as well, just like the first run on the 120 volt. And we'll have one run will control the one in the garage, which will be for the table that's going to pull out behind the garage, and the 2 bedside outlets will be 12 volt as well. And then the third run will be the one that's going to be located underneath the bench seat as well. So it'll be 2 outlets there as well, and that'll be one run by itself. And then for our lighting, we purchased 16 puck lights on Amazon, and those will be run in 4 circuits. So we will have 6 lights in the main sort of walkway of the van, I think 2 above the sliding door, right? And then we talked about the 4 that went in a line all the way back, in like the hallway basically. We will have 5 under cabinet lights, 2 of those being on the driver's side and 3 on the passenger side. And so the under cabinet lights will be controllable on their own switch and dimmer. So that'll be really nice, especially for like the evenings if we don't want to turn on like all the lights in the van in the evening. And then the 4 overbed lights will be on their own switch. And then we will have the 1 bathroom light, which will be on its own switch so that you can turn on the like the light in the shower without turning on any other lights in the van if you don't want to. And this is just a little bit extra, but we're designing our own house and this is what we thought would be really great. So all of the circuits except for the bathroom will be on 3-way switches. So we plan to have 1 set of light switches sort of on our kitchen wall, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have 1 set of light switches on the left side of our kitchen wall, kind of next to the slider, and then the other set of switches, which also will have dimmers, is going to be on the bedside wall on my side, just because we figured if we wanted to dim the lights, it would probably be from the bed instead of from the front when you're like coming into the van. It'd probably be like when you're in the van getting ready for bed, kind of dimming some of the lights.
Yeah, so everything that we got for our switches, our lights, all that stuff will be, it'll all be routed through the distribution center box by WFCO that we purchased. Another tip from Explorers.life. It's really nice and convenient to have everything in just one nice place. So yeah, it's a really cool box. So we'll show you what that looks like and stuff. But there's going to be like one side is 120 volt where you have actual breakers, and the other side will be 12 volt where you have all your fuses and stuff set up, and it has all the different bus bars and stuff for it, all in one convenient package. So
okay, so our components list for the wiring project so far, I mentioned we already bought 16 puck lights, and those ran up to $29 for 16. The second is 100 feet of marine grade triplex wire. That's for our 120 volt outlets, and that came out to $95. Second, we have 200 feet of marine grade duplex wire. That's also 12 gauge, and we started with 100 feet, but we actually ended up needing another 100, and we've almost used almost 200 feet basically so far. And that came out to $70
per 100 feet.
Per 100 feet, so little like 140 total.
So I also got a 100 pack of spade connectors that will be used to connect all of our switches and stuff with marine grade capable heat shrink. So That'll be a really nice seal for all those connectors and stuff. So I also got a 50 pack of wire lever nuts. It's hard to say. That'll be used for daisy chaining the lights and stuff together. And other than that, we just got the distribution box, which I've already kind of touched on. It's going to be the command center of everything for 120 and 12 volt stuff.
We also recommend wire loom and zip ties. We just picked those up at Lowe's, but the wire loom really helps to protect the wire if you're running it through the walls. The back of the walls where the ribs are is really sharp. I got a cut the other day. I got a cut while I was running the wire, so I mean, if this is your wire, that's bad news. And yeah, zip ties, just pretty standard. The zip ties are to zip tie the wire loom onto the wire so it doesn't move.
Alright, so we're going to end the video here, and I think next week we're going to get into framing.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bye guys.